You have $1,000,000 and you want to know the earliest time you can retire, but you do not want to have to go back to work. I work with a lot of clients that retire early, and a lot of the head trash that they have is, hey, if markets go down, am I going to have to go tell my boss I need my job back? Or, you know what if it turns out I want to spend way more than I projected early on? I'm going to show you a real case study so you can understand how all these moving pieces connect so you can retire with total confidence. Now, when I say an early retirement, I'm talking between 50 to 65. Some people mean no, early 30s and early 40s. That's not what I'm talking about. These are the people going, I've worked hard, I've saved, I've invested. I just want to make sure I don't retire too early. At the same time, I don't necessarily need to die with $3, $4, $5 million. I wish I could spend more along the way, and I'd like to know how much I can spend. So this is the couple that came to me. I'm going to walk you through exactly their specific goals, what they're working with, so you can go, yep, that's just like my situation. This is what I needed to validate I'm in a good spot. Or go, wow, I really didn't think I would want to spend that amount, and that's the impact it takes. Okay, good to know. Maybe I am going to work a little longer. So if you don't already know, I am the host of the Early Retirement Podcast. I'm a certified financial planner, and I'm the vice president here at Root Financial. If you're looking for all content related to an early retirement, health insurance, tax planning, withdrawal strategy, travel tips, you're in the right spot. And so I want to make sure you retire early with total confidence, but you don't have any of that head trash going, should I have done that? Or if only I considered that, would I be in a different spot? I want to make sure you're doing it on your own terms. Make sure to subscribe, by the way, if you want more videos just like this. I appreciate you doing so. Now let's hop right in. So here's the real couple. You can see right here, I changed the names once again for security purposes, Luke and Mary. So Luke and Mary, they came to us and they said, hey, we've got $25,000. We just want that on hand, should I say, at all times, $25,000. In terms of investments they're working with, they've got an IRA with $450,000, a 401k with $400,000, a Roth IRA with $50,000, and a brokerage with $42,000. So they are what's called pre-tax heavy. I have a term I made up here, and it's a little silly, but most of you know the term house rich, cash poor, which is where maybe, for example, my parents, they own a really nice home in Malibu, California, but they're still working in their 70s. Now, fortunately, they like what they do, but they actually were burned by multiple financial advisors, which is why I became an advisor. They are still working. They enjoy what they do, but they are house rich, cash poor. They have a $6 million home that they never want to sell. They love it. So on paper, their net worth looks really good, but they don't want to move and they still have expenses, so they're still working. That's house rich, cash poor. I don't want you to be qualified rich, cash poor. That's this couple right here. So this couple, as you can see, they have an IRA, they have a 401k, $850,000 here. This is pre-tax, meaning this is money they got a deduction for up front. And as it grows, you don't pay any taxes. But when you take the money out, you have to pay taxes on it as if you just made more money. So they have this little Roth IRA here, and they've got a brokerage account. They also have a home that they own, but it's got a mortgage left of about $100,000 at a 3.5% interest rate. So this is what they're working with. How old is this couple? This couple is 60 and 57. So 3-year age gap there. They want to retire on the same terms with total confidence, and they want to go travel. This couple did not know, were they in an amazing spot? Were they in a horrible spot? Can they make this happen? When can they make it happen? So we had a first conversation, and this is what I'll do with clients, is I'll say, let's figure out your RE. What does that mean? RE is what we call your recreational employment number. When are you truly working just because you want to, not because you have to? It doesn't mean you go stop work. It means you go, wow, I'm going to go work and I'm going to be way less stressed because I'm doing it because I want to, not because I have to. Maybe I take a job. It pays a whole lot less, but I'm still going to be okay. I'm taking it anyway. So let's go back to Luke and Mary. Luke and Mary here said, I asked them, hey, what's the worst case scenario? If I force you to work, how long could you see yourself working? They're like, really, I wouldn't want to work past 65, but if you said 68 and Mary said 66, like I wouldn't be happy, but like that's kind of your answer. I said, okay, great. Let's start there. And then I said, we're going to come back to that. I go, how much do you want to spend? I have my little cash flow planner. If you haven't seen it, you can, of course, go get this. It's in the description. This is free. I just want you guys all to actually have more confidence to your early retirement. You can go in here and play around with these different numbers, and it's going to allow you to really get a good sense of what are kind of your monthly expenses. And it breaks it down, in my opinion, in a very clear way. So that's why I created it. Your retirement expenses for them was about $5,000 a month, and then travel on top of that was $10,000 a year. That's this couple. Pretty simple. Some of you are going, oh my gosh, how could they even live? I need $10,000 a month. Some of you are going, oh my gosh, I don't even need that amount. I'm going to travel. We're going to buy an RV. We're going to have our fun. So don't worry about that as much as the kind of concept behind this. In terms of income that's coming in, salary for Luke is $85,000 a year. Mary's bringing in $110,000 a year. In terms of savings, they're adding to their 401k just 5% each of them. Not just, because that is significant, but 5%. And then they're doing $10,000 a year to their brokerage account. So this is what they're working with. And I'm the meanest early retirement advisor, where I'll tell people, hey, here's what you're on track for. Here's what you're not on track for. And so right off the bat, I was playing around with some stuff here, but I'm going to reset it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So if I reset this here, what you're going to see is this is what they're on track for. So here they are, about $1 million. If they both said, we're going to call it quits right now, they wouldn't be in a good spot. But they're going, nope, we're open to work until 68, 66, just like we said. $967,000 growing until age 93 would be about $5 million. Now, they were very clear. They said, Ari, we don't have children. We don't want to leave $5 million behind. We don't want to die with zero, but we want to get pretty close to that. And so if you don't have children, that changes the planning. If you even do have children, it just means you need to make sure you're leaving enough behind. So the first thing I do is say, hey, guys, would you love to spend more? And if some people say, you know what, $5,000 a month, that's what we put on the form, but we'd love to spend 10 or we'd love to spend 20. I'll start there and I'll show them that. Other people, I'll say, what's most important to you? Would you rather spend more? So here's your options. You can spend a lot more or you can retire earlier. What would you prefer? Most people go, hey, I don't want to decrease my standard of living. If anything, I want to increase it. But you know what? If I had $5,000 a month and $10,000 every year for travel, I think I'd be good. And I'll say, do you think or do you know? They go, well, I think. I haven't done it yet. I go, yep, fair point. So what I'll start with for this couple, they said, hey, we want to know how early can we retire? So I said, what if you guys both stopped at 65? Because that's like the standard retirement. I don't recommend you do that, but what if that's the case? And I do that to show them, yeah, there's $300,000 fewer dollars. You're still on track for $4.5 million. And they go, whoa. You're telling me if I worked, 2 years less, 3 years less, I'd still have $4.5 million. I go, yeah. They go, why does it not make a big impact? And I go, well, watch this. I go, let's assume we put this back to the base case, but now instead of spending $5,000 a month, you spend $10,000 a month. So now I'm just assuming that you're going to keep working, but you're going to spend a whole lot more. Well, now there's $3 million fewer dollars. So what hopefully you can recognize is if you have $1 million, your expenses, that's really more important than how long you're going to work. Because if you're spending it down too quickly, what's going to happen is you're going to run out of money and it's not going to be very fun. Now, what if you're spending $10,000 a month and you want to retire earlier? Let's just say 63. If they both wanted to retire at 63, which they don't, they want to retire together. Remember, there's a 3-year age gap. Well, now, if they want to spend $10,000 a month forever, they can make it happen, but it's going to get pretty close. So what you want to understand, and the best way to explain it is there's a bunch of trade-offs in retirement, and you get to determine what trade-offs are most important to you. Some of you go, Ari, I don't even care what you tell me. I want out of this job. I'm stressed. I hate it. What do I need to do? I don't want to spend $30,000 a year on travel. I want to work a less stressful job. You say, great, consider that. Some people go, you know what? Nope, this is exactly what I needed to hear. It turns out I really want to spend $10,000 a month, and I just want to know how long I need to work to make it happen. I'm happy to work 2 more years if that means I can spend what I want the next 30 years. So you want to quantify the trade-offs of all these decisions to understand what is the magnitude of that decision. Now, back at the base case, if they were to retire at 68 and 66, you see what they're on track for, $5 million. Let's assume they go, you know what, we're cool with our spending. We don't really want that to change. We just want to retire earlier than we expected, 65 and 62. That's totally cool with us. Wow, yep, there's $1 million fewer dollars, but we're still okay. Most people will go retire on that sentiment, on that graph. I won't let one person do that. Not because I'm being mean, but I am the meanest early retirement advisor. I want you to retire early, just not too early. And so what this does not take into consideration is what if markets don't perform well? What if we get really conservative growth? Meaning, what if you just don't want to invest? You're not open to investing a certain way? Well, now, yeah, we're okay, but there's $3.5 million. Now it's cutting it closer where, yeah, there's $1 million left over, but what if it turns out there's a big medical expense? And what about healthcare for Mary until 65? And what about, and you've got to kind of layer these things on. And some of these things are unnecessarily conservative, but I'll do this for my clients to stress test to show them, hey, you're always going to be able to eat. You're going to have Social Security. You're going to be okay. The question is how much are you going to enjoy your retirement? Because if you look at it the other way and you go, you know what, we're open to invest in a certain way. Yet markets are going to fluctuate, but we're comfortable with it. We just want to know, can we retire early and still be in a good spot? You certainly can make it happen. The question is how much is left over? How much are you spending along the way? So hopefully this is a very helpful way to start to understand, okay, there's a lot of moving pieces. What's going to help me understand, am I in a spot to make it happen or not? It's not everything to do with age, but it's what about layering on part-time income? What about layering on health insurance? What about medical expenses? What about long-term care? What about tax planning? How do all these other aspects make it a whole lot more effective and impactful for a dream retirement? So if this video was at all helpful, giving you confidence, I kindly ask you to subscribe and like this video so we can be sure to keep making content just like this. If there's a specific video you want content on, just drop a comment and I love making them. Thank you guys. Love ya.